Hi, this is an additional video to help those people that are wondering how you actually get links on a page. So how can you embed a hyperlink to go to a different page or an external website? I'm going to show you how I've done that in the Pubsy magazine that you see me produce as part of this course. But also I'll say that this exact sort of method, if you like, the way I do this, can be applied for adding videos onto your magazine as well, embedding other things such as MP3 players and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the files that I've included in lecture 32 to show you how I added those links in. So if you want to follow along, just download that zip file and you'll be able to. Now, if you haven't been through the whole course, when you download the zip file and you uncompress it, I'll show you as I go along. Let me remove this one because I'm on a Windows machine right now. Here we go. So when I uncompress it, you might think, well, where are the HTML files? They actually sit in this .hpub file. And all the hpub file is a zip file. So what we need to do is rename this. And then we can uncompress it. Okay, so now we have a working folder called issue 12. Let me get rid of these two, just so I'm keeping it clean. And I'll go into issue 12. So here are my initial magazine files. We have the CSS, images, screenshots, and so on. Now, as an example of a web page where I've included a link, I'm going to open this one, page 1. As it opens up, it's a bit big for my screen, but I'll scroll down. You can see as I'm moving my mouse cursor is the normal arrow. But as I move down, you'll see it turns into that hand. And that's because this region here is an area for the user to actually click on, and it'll take them to a website. And if you look at the bottom, it takes them to the actual course page itself. So if I give it a click, it'll take us to the Udemy page. So I'll step back. So let's have a look how I added this link on. You can see it's quite large. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the screen and choose Inspect Element. And this is a little tool within Google Chrome browser to allow us to inspect different parts of our HTML page. And as you can see at the bottom, it's opened up and it's showing it's expanded to this area. What I'm going to do is click this little spyglass, move up to the top part, and as I move over, here we go, this region, you can see it's highlighting a certain element on the screen. So I'm just going to scroll down so we can see the full thing. There we go. So what this is highlighting is an actual invisible image that I've included. So if I give it a click, it expands the HTML down here. And you can see it's actually this, in our images folder, we've got this little transparent.gif file, or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. So all that is a really, really small image file that's invisible. It's just completely transparent. But that's what I use to overlay on top of all my magazine pages, and I include links there. So if we go to the bottom, you can see transparent.gif. It contains nothing at all. It's got this little mark here. I don't know why that's there, but you can see it's just 1 pixel across, 1 pixel tall, and it's just 42 bytes. So that's what I use. Now let's have a look at exactly how I use it. So back to the web page. We can see here's the normal web page that we have. I'll just collapse a few things. And then what I've done, I've created this div area. Okay. Now, when you create a div area, this is just saying I'm creating a section on my web page that I want to refer to. And we can position our div anywhere we like. So you can see I've given it an ID, and you can have as many divs on a page as you want. But the IDs need to be unique. And the ID itself can be absolutely anything at all. So I could edit it to be this, and it's perfectly valid. It's just a unique name to identify that div. Now the next bit along is I'm saying I want this div, this region, we can see it being highlighted on the top section of the screen. I want this region to be positioned using some absolute coordinates. So I've got position absolute, then I'm saying start 239 pixels from the left and 440 pixels from the top. And I want to make this region 269 pixels wide and 287 pixels tall. So that's how I define my div area. Then as I come down, I'm then creating a hyperlink. So we have the ahref, and there's the link that I'm linking to. This could be a page in your magazine or an external web page, as I've got here. And then, so this is the link, but what am I attaching the link to? Well, that's on the next line. I'm attaching it to this transparent image. And I'm saying I want the original coordinates, or the original size of the image, is just 1 pixel across and 1 pixel tall. Well, that's no good for me. So what I'm saying is I actually want to stretch this image to be 269 pixels across and 287 pixels tall. Exactly the same as what I defined in the div here. Okay, so that's what I've done to effectively overlay this transparent image over the top of our background image that makes up our page. And I'm saying this is where I want it to appear. 239 pixels from the left and 440 pixels from the top, and it's going to be 269 wide by 287 tall. And that's it. That's how I've placed a link on the page. I've used a transparent image. The user can just click it, click anywhere within that region. So if I come up here, anywhere within this region, and it'll take them to that page. Now, how do you get those coordinates? Well, I normally use a HTML editor. Okay, I use sometimes I use Dreamweaver, and sometimes I'll just get some free tools from the internet. I think there's one called Composer that's completely free that you can download, and it allows you to put what's called, I think they call it layers. So you layer an image on top, and it allows you to do drag and drop. But if you don't want to mess with that and you just want to edit the code, and to be honest, it's just as fast as opening it up in a text editor, or sorry, a web editor. Then what you can do is in Google Chrome, let me close this. You see up here, I've got an extension added. If I right click this and choose manage, here we go. This one is called Tape. We go to the website, just so you can see it. So if you search for one called Tape, this is a really useful tool. I really like this. And it allows you to get coordinates and measure things on your web page. So if you use Chrome, add this to your Chrome toolbar. I'm sure there's other extensions you can use as well, but this is the one I prefer. Then what's important is that you make sure you have this ticked. Allow access to file URLs. Otherwise, it just doesn't seem to do anything when you're using local web pages on your machine. It'll work fine on normal pages out on the internet, but not your local machine. So make sure that is ticked. Then, when you come here, you can give it a click, and then it brings on the screen this little tape controls box down here. And this is just a help to show you how to use it. And what we're going to do is use the H and V. And this allows us to set horizontal and vertical lines over the top of our web page to help us determine the coordinates. So how far from the left and top, and how wide we need to make our transparent image. So what I'm going to do in this example, I will create a brand new link over the top of the word hey. So we'll go from the top left of the H to the bottom right of the exclamation mark. So I'll go to the top left, I'm going to press the H key, and then press the V key, and that adds two lines, horizontal and vertical. You can see this vertical one is showing us it's this is horizontal. It's showing us it's 188 pixels from the left hand side. Then this vertical one is showing us it's 132 pixels from the top. So now I'll go to the bottom left. Let's say I want the image to finish there. I'll press H and V again. Then this time, instead of telling us the coordinates from the top and the left, it's showing us in this case, this is 373 pixels from our previous line. And then for this vertical one, even though it's a horizontal line, it's showing us it's 133 pixels from this line here. And you can see as I'm moving the cursor, you can add more and more. So what are we, about 100 pixels there from that second line and so on. But this gives us what we want. So I need to then, what I'm going to do is open up my favorite web editor. Let me open up this one. Okay, so this is what we're working on. And because we're creating a brand new div area, I'm going to copy and paste this div section right here. So let me give it a few blank lines so we can focus on it. And then I'm just going to call this anything I want. I'll call it hey. Now we want the position to be, let me refer back to the web page, we want it to be 132 from the top, 188 from the left. So top 132 and the left is 188. The height of this thing then needs to be this one, so it's 113, and the width needs to be 373. So 113, oops, which is this one, 373. Okay, so that sets the coordinates for the div area, and the div is just a placeholder where we can put other things inside. So inside we have this href that's attached to this image, and we need to make sure our image is stretched to the size of the div. So the width needs to be 373 and the height 113. And fingers crossed, if I haven't made any typos and mistakes, that should be it. I meant to save it as a new name. Never mind. Let's go here. If I do a refresh now, tell you what, let me turn these coordinates off. So I'll do a refresh on the page. And now, there we go. You can see the cursor has changed. So now we do have a hyperlink. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me change this to google.com. Just so we're sure we've got a different link going on. Do a refresh. Now if I click it, it should go to Google. There we go. I'll come back, and then the one down here will go to Udemy again. Excellent. So that's it. That's how you apply link. It's actually really easy, isn't it? All you need to do, create a new div area. We're overlaying the transparent image, and then we're setting the coordinates for the div and the image with the width and height as well. If you want to do, let's say we want to embed a video. This page doesn't lend itself very well. Let's say we want to embed a video up here at this point at the top of the screen. Let me show you how to do that as well. Then you'll get a feel of how you can add these interactive elements into your magazine. So I'll tell you what, I'll pause the video recording. I'll find myself a half decent YouTube video that I want to include, and then I'll come back. Okay, I found this video. Not one of my favorites, but someone might find it cute. So it's just a video of some cute pets. Now, what we want to do is pick up the embed code. Okay, so let's scroll down and wherever it may be, here we go, share. Now what we need is to click here, embed. Here we've got the embed code. Now this is the default size that YouTube gives us, but let's say we want a specific size. What we can do is come back, we'll turn this on and do, let me get rid of these, is it X? Oop, not that one. Remove all is X. Oh yeah, it did work. Okay, so let's say we want to overlay our video here near the top. Let's say we want to start here, which is 200, let's say 220 from the left and 30 from the top. So press H and V, and then let's say we want it to come down, let's say over the top of this previous link. Now let's just do it here instead, eh? Let me get some nice round numbers. H and V. There we go. So we want it to be 490. Is that right? Oh no, that's from the left. We want it to be 270 wide by 160 high. So let's go to YouTube in custom size, 270. Oh, it's suggesting 152. Let's take that so it keeps it in proportion. Otherwise, we're stretching it. So we'll do that. As soon as you key that in, it updates the embed code up here. So all we need to do is copy that, and I'll bring up my editor again. Oh, you know what? I need to copy and paste. So what I'm going to do, let's create a brand new div. Let's call this cute vid. Yo. And then our position needs to be, let's have a look, how far left do we need to go? We need to be 220 left and 17 from the top. $220, 17, and we're going to use the YouTube 270.152. Oops, wrong one. $270.152 tall, and then let me copy this again. We will pick this up. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong one, don't I? And then here we need to have an iframe. So we've already copied things across. There we go. So iframe width 270.152, the source. Oh, a little tip here. It says source equals and it's a // We need HTTP:. Otherwise it won't work. It'll just probably hang. So that's the source of our video. And you can play around with different YouTube additional options here to make it look a bit different if you wish. I'll stick with the standard, but that's about it. I've created the div from the left, from the top. That's how wide it is, that's how tall it is. That matches the video as well. So if I save this, let's save it as 01_video. There's Explorer, there we go. So there's the video, give it a double click. And there we have it, it's embedded the video. I can click it and it plays.
The following program contains material.
And that's oh, I give it a click, and because we've still got this underlying image here with a hyperlink attached to it. Actually, this is quite interesting. Probably a bit of a side note. Let me open up this. The first thing we have in the web page is the video, and then over the top we have our link to Google. So I think if I click, I can click the play, but then you'll notice down here, oh, let me pause it. You see that? Let me come back again. I can click it here and it plays, but then as the play controls come up, the hyperlink from what we added earlier actually kicks in, so it's overlaying over the top. So that's something to watch out for if you're overlaying bits and pieces. If you have any questions about this, let me know, and hopefully this has answered some of your questions about adding links.